Mark drifted. He felt like he was floating through life, untethered and aimless. College felt like an extension of high school, a monotonous continuation rather than a new beginning. The same faces, the same routines, the same sense of being lost in the crowd. Parties, video games, and late-night pizza defined his days. They were distractions, temporary escapes from the nagging feeling that he was meant for something more. His dream of becoming a writer felt distant, lost in a fog of procrastination. He would sit at his desk, staring at a blank notebook, the words refusing to come. He knew he had potential, but tapping into it felt impossible. Frustration would build, and he would bury his head in his hands, wondering why he couldn't break free from this cycle. Discipline? That was for someone else. He scoffed at the idea, convinced that creativity couldn't be forced, that it had to flow naturally. One evening, after another night of wasted potential, Mark stumbled upon a quote online. He was mindlessly scrolling, trying to distract himself from the gnawing sense of failure. "Discipline equals freedom," it read. The simplicity of the words struck him. The word struck a chord. Could it be that discipline, the very thing he had been avoiding, was the key to unlocking his potential? Could discipline be the key to unlocking his dreams, not a barrier to them? The thought lingered, a seed planted in the fertile ground of his mind. He picked up his notebook and pen, feeling a spark of determination. The thought lingered, a seed planted in the fertile ground of his mind. As he stared out the window, he realized that perhaps, just perhaps, discipline could be the structure he needed to give his dreams a chance to grow. The idea took root, and for the first time in a long while, Mark felt a glimmer of hope. A few days later, while nursing a hangover at a local coffee shop, Mark noticed an older man engrossed in a book. The book's title, "Discipline Equals Freedom," was unmistakable. Mustering his courage, Mark approached the man. They talked for hours. The man, a retired Navy SEAL named John, became Mark's unexpected mentor. John listened patiently as Mark poured out his frustrations and aspirations. He spoke of discipline not as a rigid set of rules, but as a liberating force. John's words resonated with Mark. He saw a path forward not through shortcuts but through dedication and hard work. That night, Mark made a decision. It was a decision that had been brewing in his mind for months, maybe even years. The weight of it felt both liberating and daunting. He would commit to his dream, the dream that had kept him awake at night, the one that had always seemed just out of reach. He would write every day, no excuses. Rain or shine, tired or energized, he would put pen to paper, fingers to keyboard. He would cut back on video games, the endless hours spent in virtual worlds that offered nothing but temporary escape, parties and junk food, the social gatherings that left him feeling empty, the unhealthy snacks that provided fleeting comfort. He knew it wouldn't be easy, sacrifices were inevitable, there would be moments of doubt, times when the allure of old habits would be strong. But the thought of living a life of regret was far more terrifying. The idea of looking back years from now, wondering, what if, was a nightmare he couldn't bear. The next morning, Mark woke up early for the first time in years. The dawn light filtered through his window, casting a hopeful glow on his new beginning. He sat down at his desk, a blank page staring back at him. It was intimidating, yet exhilarating. This was his canvas, his opportunity to create. The words came slowly at first, then flowed more freely. Each sentence was a small victory, each paragraph a step closer to his dream. He wrote about his struggles, his dreams, the moments that had shaped him, the fears that had held him back, and the courage he was now finding. His newfound commitment to discipline was more than just a promise. It was a transformation. He was no longer the man who hesitated, who doubted. He was becoming the man who acted, who believed in his own potential. The initial days were tough. Mark battled procrastination, self-doubt, and the allure of his old habits. But he persisted. He found solace in John's mentorship, drawing strength from their conversations. He tracked his progress, celebrating small victories along the way. Each completed page, each early morning writing session fueled his determination. He started exercising regularly, his body growing stronger alongside his mind. He replaced junk food with healthy meals, his energy levels soaring. Discipline, once a distant concept, was becoming an integral part of his life. Weeks turned into months. Mark's writing improved dramatically. He had developed a consistent writing routine, churning out thousands of words each week. He started submitting his work to online literary magazines, facing rejection after rejection. But he didn't give up. he used each rejection as a learning opportunity, refining his craft with each attempt. Then, a breakthrough. One of his short stories was accepted by a prestigious literary journal. The feeling of elation was indescribable. His hard work, his sacrifices were finally paying off. The dream he had almost given up on was now within reach. Just when things were looking up, life threw a curveball. Mark's father lost his job, plunging the family into financial turmoil. Mark considered dropping out of college to help support his family, his dream once again hanging in the balance. Doubt crept in, whispering insidious suggestions of giving up. He confided in John, his voice heavy with despair. John listened patiently, his gaze steady and reassuring. He reminded Mark of the strength he had cultivated, the resilience he had developed through discipline. He encouraged him to find a way to pursue his dream while supporting his family. Inspired by John's words, Mark found a part-time job at a local bookstore. It wasn't glamorous, but it allowed him to contribute financially while staying connected to his passion for literature. Working at the bookstore proved to be a blessing in disguise. He met aspiring writers, published authors, and literary agents, expanding his network and gaining invaluable insights into the publishing world. One evening, a renowned literary agent walked into the bookstore. Mark, mustering his courage, shared his writing aspirations and a sample of his work. The agent, impressed by Mark's talent and determination, agreed to read his manuscript. The next few months were a blur of anticipation and hard work. Mark juggled his part-time job, his studies, and his writing, fueled by a potent blend of passion and discipline. He received feedback from the agent, requiring him to rewrite and refine his manuscript. He embraced the feedback, pouring his heart and soul into each revision. He missed parties, skipped outings with friends, and sacrificed countless hours of sleep. There were moments of doubt, flashes of resentment, and the ever-present allure of giving up, but he pressed on, driven by the dream that was finally within grasp. Finally, the email arrived. Mark held his breath as he clicked it open. The words, "We are delighted," jumped out at him. His manuscript had been accepted for publication. Tears welled up in his eyes as a wave of relief, gratitude, and exhilaration washed over him. He had done it. He had achieved his dream. He called John first, his voice trembling with emotion. John congratulated him, his pride evident in his voice. He reminded Mark that this was just the beginning, that the journey of a writer is a lifelong pursuit of growth and discipline. Mark's debut novel was a critical and commercial success. He went on book tours, gave interviews, and connected with readers who resonated with his words. He had achieved a level of success he had once only dared to dream of. Yet, he remained grounded, remembering the sacrifices he had made and the lessons he had learned along the way. He continued to write every day, driven not by external validation, but by the intrinsic reward of pursuing his passion. He used his platform to inspire others, sharing his story of discipline, sacrifice, and the transformative power of chasing one's dreams. Looking back, Mark realized that discipline wasn't the enemy of freedom, but the very key to unlocking it. It was a revelation that came not in a single moment, but through a series of experiences that shaped his understanding. Standing on that mountain summit, he could see the path he had taken, each step a testament to his commitment and perseverance. It was through discipline that he had broken free from the shackles of procrastination and self-doubt. Each task he completed, each goal he set and achieved was a small victory against the forces that once held him back. The to-do list that once seemed endless now became a roadmap to his success, each item a stepping stone towards his dreams. It was through sacrifice that he had discovered his true potential. The late nights spent studying, the early mornings in the gym, the countless hours dedicated to his craft, these were the moments that defined him. They were the crucible in which his character was forged, revealing strengths he never knew he possessed. And it was through embracing the grind that he had found his purpose. The daily grind, once a source of frustration, became a source of inspiration. Each challenge he faced, each obstacle he overcame, brought him closer to his goals. The grind was no longer a burden, but a journey of self-discovery and growth. Discipline, once a distant concept, had become his compass, guiding him towards a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. It was the steady hand that kept him on course, the inner voice that urged him to keep going, even when the path was difficult. With discipline as his guide, he navigated the twists and turns of life with confidence and clarity. He had learned that the greatest rewards in life are often found not in shortcuts but in the relentless pursuit of one's passions, fueled by the unwavering flames of discipline and sacrifice. The finish line, the completed project, the moment of triumph. These were not just the end of a journey, but the culmination of countless hours of hard work and dedication. And in those moments of success, he found not just achievement but a deep sense of fulfillment and joy.